It was a rare 2-loss regular season for Oklahoma last year. It seems like every year this Oklahoma team is sitting there at the end of the season, at least the regular season, with 1 loss or maybe even undefeated. But yeah, they lost 2 games last year, 2 games that they could have won. It could have been a much different year. Let's project what their record could be in 2021. And this is the schedule again, starting with Tulane, Western Carolina, Nebraska, West Virginia, Kansas State, Texas, TCU, Kansas, Texas Tech, Baylor, Iowa State, and Oklahoma State. A lot of games that could potentially give them some trouble, but I kind of like their chances in every game. When you just break down each individual game, I think Oklahoma is favored in every single game on this schedule. But this is the scale that we'll use to get this projection. Now, these are going to be the odds to win. If it's in white, that's basically a 50-50 game, a game between 41 and 59%. A game that could go either way, a game where I think the spread is going to be 3 or 4 points or even less than that. Then you've got your red games where they have no chance, really, less than 10%, 10 to 25%, 26 to 40%. You're not going to see any of those on this schedule because, again, they will be favored or at least have a 50-50 shot in every game on this schedule, and that's what happens when you're talking about a top 5 team. 60 to 74% in the purple, 75 to 90 in the blue, and then if it's over 90%, that will be in the green. And we do have some 90% games here, plus over 90%, I should say. Tulane, Western Carolina, and Kansas. Tulane's a little tricky. That one's closer to 90% than it is 99%. But I still think Oklahoma, the talent on this team should be enough to be able to take care of that matchup. And then Western Carolina, an easy win. And then, you know, Kansas, I know it's a conference game, but Oklahoma has no business losing to Kansas. Kansas is still one of the worst Power 5 teams in the country, and they're worse than a lot of Group of 5 teams, let's just be honest. So those are 3 easy wins. Now we go to the blue, and I honestly had a hard time with this one because there are a lot of games on this schedule that are right around 75% for me. So to figure out if I was going to put them in the purple or the blue was very tough. And that does have a major impact on the projection because the 75+ games are considered wins. The 60-74% games are averaged out. So again, this is it's tough, but this is the best that I could do when making these projections. I'm going to give them Nebraska, Texas Tech, and Baylor in the blue here. Again, talent level, just the program for Oklahoma is just much better than Nebraska right now. The game's at home. They should be able to win that game. Texas Tech and Baylor, I still think are towards the bottom of the Big 12. I don't really see either one of those teams challenging Oklahoma. And these are games where I think Oklahoma is going to be a double-digit favorite, 14, 17 points, somewhere in there. And I think Oklahoma should win all 3 of these matchups. Again, this was tough because I think West Virginia and TCU are games that could be put into this category. But I just really like these 2 teams. I think they've got a lot coming back. I think they're going to be tough to beat. They're at home for Oklahoma, so again, because of that, I could see you putting those 2 games in the blue. That would be okay with me. But for this video, I think it's safer. And again, when we do this is not a prediction. This is simply a projection based on the schedule. We try to go conservative. So I'm going to go with the more conservative approach here, and I'm going to put those games in the purple, along with Texas, Kansas State, and Oklahoma State. I just think Oklahoma is going to be favored in all of these games by about a touchdown or so, and that's what we're talking about when we talk about these 60 to 74% games. Like I said, West Virginia and TCU could be a little bit higher. The game says at Texas there, but again, that is at the Cotton Bowl. That is a neutral site game. If it was at Texas, if that was a road game, that might be a 50-50 game, but neutral field. With everything Texas loses, I think you can say it's safe to say Oklahoma will be favored by about a touchdown, 6 or 7 points in that game. So these 6 games are games that Oklahoma will be favored in, but they're close enough that it wouldn't surprise me if we saw an upset in really any of these games. And then you've got Iowa State. Iowa State, the 50-50 game, the game that could go either way. It's at home for Oklahoma, so I think they'll be favored, but I don't know if they'll be favored by enough, by 6, 7, 8 points to put this in the purple. Maybe this one should also be in the purple, but Iowa State brings a lot back this year. They're going to be a top 10 team, and that is a game that I think could really go either way. So it's interesting with Oklahoma, and it seems like this is always the case with the top teams in the Big 12. Because of the schedule that they play and because of the Big 12 Conference, you've just got so many games that are not easy wins, but they're games that you should win, games that kind of wind up in that purple range. And because of that, the projection is always a little bit low, because what we do is we take the purple and the white games in this scenario and we average them out. So we're talking the 60% for the purple, 50% for the white Iowa State. So although they'll be favored, I think, in all of these games, and they could very well win all of these games, when you average it out, the projection does come out a little bit lower for Oklahoma. And I want to stress that this is not an official prediction. I am not predicting Oklahoma to have this record. I personally, and it's early and I might change my mind, but I probably will put this team at 11-1 or 12-0. I think they're going to be that good. But again, a conservative approach, just a projection based on this schedule. Oklahoma's projected record comes out to 10-2, and it was really kind of right there in the middle of 9-3 and 10-2. I rounded it up because you've got no games as underdogs here, so that's why I did round it up to 10-2, because they are favored in all of these matchups. That's what the projection comes out to for Oklahoma. Again, not an official prediction. I will not predict them to go 10-2. I'll go ahead and tell you right now, unless something changes. I think this is an 11-1 or 12-0 type team. And the schedule, I think, while there are challenges on the schedule, is not that tough. They should be able to take care of business in almost every game. So again, prediction for Oklahoma, a spoiler here, early prediction for Oklahoma will be 11-1 or 12-0. I haven't made up my mind yet. Again, a lot of research to do throughout the next couple of months, but projection for them based on this schedule and how tough it is, projection for Oklahoma is 10-2. Do you agree? Do you disagree? Do you think they'll be higher or lower? Maybe you think they're going to drop off this year. Most people are pretty high on Oklahoma, and I think most people would project them to do better than 10-2. So let me know what you think. Give me your thoughts down in the comments, and thank you for watching this video.